You obviously know how I'm feeling right now, feeling absolutely blessed. That's a Lion of Judah by well-known gospel artist Lebo Sekgobela, who joins me in the studio. Lebo, absolutely lovely to meet you. Thanks so much for coming onto the show.
It's an honor, Mr. Hugo. It's an honor to be here, and thank you so much to the family of Newzroom Afrika to have me sitting here. Just coming into your home, and greetings to all everybody who's watching at home.
We're in the homes of hundreds of thousands of our viewers at this point. What comes to mind? We're going to talk about Kept by Grace, which is your new album, big tours that are happening in the next few weeks. But when you listen to Lion of Judah, what comes to mind? What does it do for you? I mean, it does a lot for me, I can tell you that.
Yeah, it does a lot for me. I mean, like listening to it, you know, the words of the song still has a value in my life. You know, that mamore ndawana zoro, mamore andina kucha. You know, so fear can never be part of my portion. You know, fear cannot, at some point in life, you need to allow yourself to say, fear cannot have power over me. So, I mean, for me, that song, you know, still resonates so much in my spirit. And it's one of the songs that made me to be, one
the
of
superstar that you are.
Exactly, yeah.
Fantastic. So let's talk about Kept by Grace. I mean, you've obviously done a lot of work.
Yeah.
This is your new album.
Yeah.
Walk us through some of the tracks, some of the inspirations for this album.
Wow, so Kept by Grace came, I think I was supposed to do my album last year, which is 2023. And I think in my spirit, I felt like there was just a lot happening health-wise. And I felt like, I don't think I'm in a good space. I felt like everything that I'm writing, you know, it's not gonna speak well of the love of God, you know, and how far He has taken me, you know, through the journey of my life. And from then, you know what, I started praying over it, and, you know, the scripture came to say, my grace is sufficient for you. And that's when I started writing the songs, you know, so the album currently it's gonna be on 30 songs, so which is something that I've went beyond my expectation of writing. So it's gonna be having 30 songs. And when I started writing, I could see that it took me back to how far the journey has been and the loneliness of the journey, because sometimes when fame comes, you know, it's not like somebody's sitting with you to teach you. You know, like when you get married, the elders will call you to say that you're going to somebody's home, this is how you need to treat yourself. But with fame, when it comes, because we have never expected it, it comes as a surprise. You know, so sometimes it gets lonely because now everybody thinks that now you're popular, you know, probably you're famous and you don't have their time. They don't even see that, you know, much more of that comes now with the heavy weight of you not being home, you being on the road every time, everybody wanting a piece of you. And so I needed to find myself again. And through that, I found that, you know what, the grace of God has kept me, because if it was not of that, I would have gone insane.
Let's break this down a little bit, right? So you met your husband when you were 16. Yeah. He's also your manager. You have 3 beautiful children. Yes. And the whole world knows you, right? So how do you balance all of this? Because it can't be easy. I mean, you need me time, you know, right? Yeah. You've got everybody who wants a piece of the action. You know, they want your autographs, they want to book you, and all of that. But you've got a husband. You've also got 3 kids that want their time. I mean, for you, you're just mum, right?
Yeah. I mean, like, you know, with that life on its own, it's amazing how spiritually, I'm a strong person. I value my time with God in the presence of the Lord. And, you know, the Bible says in Proverbs, the steps of a righteous man are ordered by the Lord. So literally, I needed my steps to be ordered, because if not, I would find myself, you know, not knowing my position. I would fall most of the time. But now in this case, from what you've said, you know, with my family and my kids, I find myself falling to the right hands. You know, because they don't judge me, even as much as they can say, you need to rest, you know, you need to take it easy, you know, this and that. But they also know that this is my calling and I am in love with it. But also it's important that I don't misuse their love. because at some point we do that to our families. We misuse how they love us because we're thinking that they will understand that, you know, it's food being put on the table, but time spent, it's what they don't have. So you don't want that, you know, when it comes, you know, the Lord takes you and you go home to be with the Lord, and your kids, they feel like, oh, I mean, we knew she was never home, you know, so like it does. But, you know, you need to have that sense of belonging to your kids, that if everything does not work well outside, you know which hands you can fall on. Yeah.
Okay. So I want to come back to Kept by Grace, 30 tracks. One would imagine that this whole process is obviously, you're inspired to write, you know, you download from the spread as you indicated, but there's a commercial side to it.
Yeah.
I think part of what you're trying to do also is to earn a living. So why 30 tracks on a single album? You know, why not break it down into 3 albums of 10? And I'm sure your manager husband who's listening on the show would say, yes, that's a good idea.
I mean, that's a good idea, but I think for me, this album, it's something that I've, like, probably after Restored and Umusa, this is like the album that I'm thinking, okay, it's the album that I'm taking after a long period of time, you know, not releasing. So I just want to give myself, you know, and just remind the people that, you know what, when life gets tough, you know, you still have other people who can still hold your hand. So we kept well. So
let's talk about how the public are going to be able to access this album. Are there shows planned, concerts, tours?
Yeah. So there are shows planned, concert. I'm going to be embarking on a national tour, which is going to start at Emperor's Palace on the 27th of July. But on the 1st of July, so I'm starting from July until December, you know, with the tours. So on the 1st of July, the full album is coming out, and from the 27th is the first leg of the tour until December, probably until next year. God willingly, you know.
So that's absolutely incredible. Do you have a favorite song on the album?
I do. Oh, I do. I do.
Are you going to tell us what it is and why?
No, but I mean, you kind of ask a mom which child is the favorite. You know, all of them, they are my favorite.
Okay, so maybe don't tell us what the song is called.
Yeah.
But talk to us about the inspiration to it or the attachment that you have to it without giving too much detail.
Oh, God. Sure. It's one of the songs. It's a hymn. It's one of my favorites. I did the hymn on Restored as a full version in a different tune, literally. So now it's a total different tune. For me, knowing that His will, you know, it's done in my life, that is the perfect thing. So I'm not going to give everybody everything, but I know that they're going to be enjoying this album because it's ministering to me too.
So before we let you go, I'd like you to give some advice. And this advice, because it's June's Mental Health Month for the men, right? Yeah. And there are many men out there whose wives are the rock stars of the family, right? So either they make the money, or they're the celebrities, you know, and these husbands are at home, or partners are at home supporting, right? How do they best support you when you're in that position?
What a question. Oh my God. You know, with mental health, it's important that you understand that you value, you know, you are important, whether you earn much or you earn less, because sometimes having the money but not knowing the wisdom of how to use it can still kill you, because then everybody can come and want a piece of you without knowing that you need to spare yourself. So that is what normally happens also in families, you know. So mental health, either to children, when they know that, you know, their families are doing well, so they think everything is there, but the moment they lose something, then literally they break, you know. So even with families, the most important thing for me, I think, to my husband, is to know my position also and to respect him regardless of what he brings, you know, regardless of what I bring to the table, to know that we are in this together. You know, it's a journey that we decided to take together. I mean, when he married me, he didn't even know that I could sing. Like, I think in the process, then he knew that I could sing. You
weren't the romantic woman that would let me sing your song?
No, never. And he's still not gonna get that. You know, but it's important that every man, every woman, you need to know that you value, you know, and accept yourself with your limitations, you know, because the moment you don't do that, it will break you. because you'd find somebody who's stronger than you, and the moment you don't have your own position, you know, everybody can toss you around, and you find yourself breaking even more. So it's important that your mental health come first.
Now, finally, you mentioned that 2 of your children sing.
Yeah.
What's that journey like for them?
Wow.
You know, having a mom who's an exceptional talent, mentoring or stewarding over them.
Yeah.
Do you put them under any pressure? How do you work their talent?
Wow, I don't put them under any pressure. My son, he's more of a classical. He's more of a classical, and he has a very beautiful and amazing voice. I don't see him coming anywhere closer to music. He's more into soccer, sports, and he's the genius of the house. Yeah. And when coming to my firstborn daughter, she sings. I would try to steal her sometimes in my shows and call her on. Yeah. You know, the last time I remember she came when I had a show. She came and she stole the show because her voice is more beautiful than mine. Like it's smooth, you know, it's welcoming. I mean, mine is like a boy, you know, like when a boy is waking up and like, hey.
But how do you feel with this blessing? I mean, like, you're a phenomenal singer, and for you to sit here and say somebody else has got a more beautiful voice than yours, I mean, it's got to be incredible. Yeah,
I mean, we need to give credit where it's due. You know, when somebody's talented, you need to acknowledge that there's somebody who's talented more than you. You know, the moment you do that, it means that you are also content with yourself, you know. So I am content with myself. So, but I know that my kids are more gifted than me. Like their voice, I know that it's like, you know, I mean, but I don't see them going there because I mean, my firstborn daughter, now she's married and she's also, I mean, she's an attorney, you know, so I don't think of her doing, for her, it's a hobby. For me, you know, for me, it's something that I live on, yeah.